Welcome to the 1041, a UCSO podcast where we take you behind the badge and into the heart of our community. I'm your host, Tyler Funderburk. Today we're focusing on the programs and the people who help build strong relationships between law enforcement and the citizens we serve. Joining us is Deputy Tiffany Hill, our community officer, who works every day to connect with residents, promote safety, and make a lasting impact across Union County. Deputy Hill, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Tyler.
For those of you who may not know, what does a community officer do?
So as a community officer, we pretty much engage with the community, partnership with the community. Just try to get out there the things that we do as the Union County Sheriff's Office, as well as, educating people on safety information, safety tips, just trying to be positively engaged with the community.
Okay. So what drew you to this role?
So I feel like what drew me to this role is probably part my personality and who I am. I'm already an outgoing person. I'm a people's person. I love to be engaging with people in a positive way. So I think I just knowing that I had the opportunity to be out in the community and making those connections, building those relationships with the citizens here in Union County, that kind of drew me to the role because it really spoke to who I am as a person in general.
So what does a typical week look like for you?
It just depends. So the community can actually reach out to us here at the Union County Sheriff's Office and request for us to come out and participate in any type of events that they may have going on, maybe come out and speak with a school or a daycare or maybe a group of adults, a group of senior citizens. It just depends on what it is that the community is reaching out to us for us to come out to. But it could be anything from going and doing the touch a truck at a preschool to going and talking about fraud and theft protection and scam protection or prevention, and just engaging whatever it is that the community is asking us to come out and do.
I definitely want to talk to you about some of the programs that we do offer. Let's talk about Operation Medicine Drop. What is that and why is it so important?
So as a part of Safe Kids Union County, the Union County Sheriff's Office partners with Safe Kids, and a part of the initiative is finding a safe way for people to dispose of the medication properly so they're not still flushing it down the toilets and throwing it in our trash so that it gets into our water systems. So we actually have different Operation Medicine Drop boxes throughout the community at different police departments, fire stations, and the community can actually go and drop off their unused or expired medication in those boxes. And then we, as the Union County Sheriff's Office, we pick that up and we dispose of it properly. We pretty much incinerate it, so therefore there's no way it's getting back into our water system or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. What kinds of items can people bring to these events?
I mean, it can be any of the medications maybe that your doctor puts you on. We do ask that you don't drop your needles and sharps into those containers. We do have containers at most of these locations for sharps. But if you see that those are full, maybe just hold on to those until you come back next time. But you can have your pills. We try to discourage liquids, but if you do have liquids, you can drop that in there as well in the containers. Please do not take your liquids and try to pour it in a bag or anything. But you don't have to take your labels off because because I'm the person that comes and collects that. All goes into a bag. It never gets reopened, and it goes straight to the incinerator after that.
How has the community responded to this program?
Oh, very well. We do several different programs throughout the year. I definitely try to advertise those between us and Safe Kids. And I also do a quarterly collection at the Bazemore Adult Center in Monroe. So every 3 months I'm out there and I allow the citizens and seniors can come and drop off their medicines while they're at the senior center having fun, doing their activities and things like that. So it is a very great program that I think we have here in Union County.
Okay. Car seat safety checks are a huge service. What does that process look like?
Well, with car seat safety, of course, we want to make sure that parents, grandparents, whoever is transporting a child in the vehicle, that they are transporting that child properly, that they understand and know the proper way to install their seatbelt, so that they are car seat and seatbelt, because kids that are wearing seatbelts, they need to know how to properly buckle their seatbelt. But making sure that those car seats are properly installed in the vehicle, so that if unfortunately they are in an accident, that their child is as safe as possible in that car seat, because they are following what the manufacturer has instructed them to do when it comes to installing that car seat. So we have some parents that may not know the proper way, or maybe they're just unsure if that car seat is secured properly. They could actually come to one of our permanent car seat check locations and get those car seats checked. We have several of them throughout the community, as well as with the police departments, as well as the fire departments, where they can call and make appointments if it's not a permanent check-in day, and get those seats checked. But we just want to make sure that kids are properly secured in the vehicles.
What are the most common mistakes parents make when installing car seats that you've seen?
Probably either some come and they're not even buckled in the car at all. They just have the seat in the car and the child buckled in the car seat, thinking that that's okay, and that's not okay. And one of the biggest is probably people not knowing what a tether is. And if you don't know what a tether is, you can Google it. But it's pretty much that long cord that's on the back of your car seat that most people just leave hanging behind the car seat because they're like, what does this go to? But there's actually a part of the car where you actually buckle that into, and that helps to secure that seat to that car seat to your actual car seat. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Why is it so important to have them checked properly?
Because again, in case of an accident, you want to make sure a child is precious. You're precious as an adult, but a child still has their life to live. And if it's just making sure an additional buckle is buckled into the car seat, or if making sure that the angle of the car seat is right, that could help that child be more secure in case of an accident. To me, that's why it's so important to make sure that it is in there correctly, just to make sure that you are protecting your child in case someone else on the road is not driving the way they are supposed to be, and you get into an accident or something like that. You can ensure that not only you, but that your child who's in that back seat is also safe.
Okay. Can you reiterate also, how can families take advantage of this program?
Yeah, so I believe that we have a list of our permanent check-in stations on our website, on our UCSO.us website.
We do.
Okay, and they can actually go on there and look. And like I said, that we have permanent days pretty much each week of the month at different locations. But on that list, they'll also give you a name and a phone number that you can call to set up an appointment if you're unable to make it during those 2-hour windows that we do once a month at each station. You still can call in and make an appointment, and we can definitely work something out with you.
Okay. Programs like Bike to School are always such a big hit. What do those events involve?
So it involves, the officers joining with the community and with the youth, and just allowing them to ride their bikes to school that day with an officer, as well as us ensuring that their helmets are on properly. We actually have a grant through Safe Kids Union County where we are provided helmets that we can give out to the community for free. So during that event, we actually check their helmets. If they're too small, they've grown over the year, getting prepared for the summer, they're too small, we'll go ahead and get them fitted for a new one and give them a brand new helmet for free. They don't have to pay anything for it. But our goal is to make sure that when they're out there riding those bikes, riding those scooters, skateboards, that they have that head protection on their head. And that's something that we can provide through Safe Kids.
Why is it important for kids to see deputies in these types of settings?
So that they can see that it is okay to come up to an officer. It's okay to say hey. It's okay to, have fun, that we're humans too, and that most of us have kids and things like that. Like, we're here to make sure that you're safe and that you feel comfortable being around us. And if us getting on a bicycle, putting on a helmet, and riding to school with you is a way that you can feel comfortable, then we're going to do that.
What kind of impact do these events have on young people?
I think it has a big impact. We definitely had a huge crowd at Poplar Elementary that rode their bikes with the officers, and just them seeing how they got escorted in by not only officers on bikes, but officers on dual sports, officers in their patrol cars. I think just seeing those lights while they're driving into school makes them feel like that cool kid that got to, ride a bike with an officer and had an escort by the police officers.
You spend a lot of time working with schools. What does that partnership look like?
Well, Union County Sheriff's Office has a huge school resource officer. Uh, we have a huge number of school resource officers that we have here at the Union County Sheriff's Office, and with that, that allows our school resource officers to be in the school to interact with those kids every day. They get to see them every day they're at school. They get to build that positive relationship with an officer every day at school. If there's something going on outside of school, they build that relationship so that person, if they have to for some reason wait till they get to school to talk about it, they have an officer there they can speak about things to in a safe manner, not feeling scared, not feeling like if I call the police to my house, I'm going to be in trouble or something like that, but that they have that officer that they built a relationship with at the schools that they can actually come to, they can talk to, they can eat lunch with, they can joke around with, they get to see them at the basketball games, the football games, and things like that. So I just help to support them in any way that they need, whether it's me coming to their school and helping them with the events, me providing any type of promotional information or like activity booklets, safety booklets, things like that. I make sure I provide them with whatever resources they need in that way.
What types of programs do you bring into schools?
So we do a lot of like career days. So we'll come out to the schools, especially some of the middle high school. We'll talk about what it's like to be an officer, and then we also have an Explorer program here at the Union County Sheriff's Office. So I actually take a lot of the information, especially for middle high schools. I take that Explorer program information with us, and I just talk to them about, hey, this is what our explorers do. This is the information that you can join, and you can learn what we do on a daily basis as an officer. So we do different programs like that, touch of trucks, just whatever it is that the school needs us to partner with them with.
Why is it important to build relationships with students early on?
Because that's where you build your how you see people at a young age. So if you're seeing an officer at a young age in a positive manner, you're going to grow up and you're going to see more of the positive of officers in general in the community, rather than if you don't grow up with an officer in your school and all you're hearing is negativity from the news or on social media. You might see an officer and you might think negative of them even though you don't know them. So I think having the officers in the school, having kids grow up around those officers at a young age, helps them to build their own identity with that officer and how they feel about that officer, how they feel about law enforcement as a whole.
Okay. How do these programs help shape perceptions of law enforcement?
I think I think it's in a positive way because they get that early on interaction with law enforcement. They're not just going off of what they hear on the news or what they're hearing from mom and dad at home. They're getting firsthand. I have an officer in my school. I see this officer every day. This is how they treat me. They've never treated me this way. They get to build that rapport with that person and build their own perspective on how they see law enforcement.
Another area that UCSO has made a big impact on is through Special Olympics. Can you tell us about UCSO's involvement with Special Olympics?
Yeah, so we love participating in Special Olympics. I believe it was right before COVID was the first time that I got introduced to the law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics in North Carolina. One of my PE teachers asked me, were we going to be at spring games? And I was like, what is that? Like, I've heard of spring games, but why would we be there? And she explained to me, like, well, law enforcement, they carry the torch. They give the athletes their awards. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Let's do it. So ever since then, we've been involved. We actually help raise funds for Special Olympics through fundraising, through partnering with our different businesses in Union County, and just bringing awareness. That's the biggest thing about what we do as UCSO and as the law enforcement torch run. We bring awareness for the athletes because a lot of people may not know about Special Olympics. They may not know how these athletes are able to participate. But the majority of money that is raised for Special Olympics, North Carolina, is raised through law enforcement agencies. And we're blessed here in Union County, at the Union County Sheriff's Office and in Union County, that we have a close partnership with our Special Olympics Union County athletes when we get to build relationships with them, go out, do activities with them and such things.
For those who may not be familiar, what is the Law Enforcement Torch Run?
So the Law Enforcement Torch Run is a group of law enforcement agencies throughout the state of North Carolina, but they're actually in just about every state and international. But we are a group of law enforcement agencies that join together, and we help to raise funds for Special Olympics throughout the year. And that way that these parents who have athletes that are participating in Special Olympic activities do not have to pay a dime out of their pocket for their for their athlete to participate in an event. So that just, touches our hearts, and we know that our money that we are raising is going to a good cause and allowing these athletes to participate.
Why is the torch run so important to law enforcement agencies like ours?
I think because it allows us to, be a positive influence to these athletes, be a role model to these athletes. They shine, they light up whenever they see us or when we come out to an event and we're cheering them on. I think it allows us also to have that positive rapport for if there's an incident or maybe we have to come out to a home or something. They might recognize that, hey, that officer was at my school, that officer was at my athletic event. Hey, I want to speak with Officer Hill. I know her from cheering me on for basketball. Can you bring her out to my house? It just allows us to build a positive rapport with those athletes.
What does it mean to you personally to be part of something like this?
Oh, it means a lot. Special Olympics has a special place in my heart, and as well as the intellectual and developmental disability community. I actually have a cousin of my own who just turned 22. She has Down syndrome. She is my world. She is hilarious. But being able to see her on a daily basis do the things that she does. She has cheered on her high school team since she was a freshman in high school, and she's been able to be like the students just take her in, and that puts a smile on my face because we know how sometimes high school kids can be. But she is embraced. She is loved by those students. So being able to see that people can see these athletes as, just like them. They may have a different chromosome, or they might have a disability or diagnosis than you do, but at the end of the day, they're still human like you. And I just love just how people treat people like people. And that's what brings me a smile. Like right now, I'm just smiling. That's what brings a smile to my face is because I actually personally know somebody, so it makes a difference for me. But I just know that I'm going to do whatever I can for Special Olympics to bring awareness and to make sure that no athlete is left behind, especially if there's something they want to do and we have the ability to help them get there. I'm going to do my best to make it happen.
Can you share a memorable moment you've had when you're participating in the law enforcement torch run?
Yeah, so I know, as part of the law enforcement torch run, I've actually had the opportunity to go to Texas for an international conference, and during that conference, I was able to partner with a Special Olympic athlete in a unified partnership sport, and I actually came in second place, so I got to bring home a silver medal, and that has been one of the highlights of my time with law enforcement torch run, is having the opportunity not to just stay here in this state, but go to another state and interact with other athletes, actually participate as a unified partner and actually win a medal and bring it home. I think that has been the highlight of my time as a part of the law enforcement torch run.
How can members of the community get involved or support Special Olympics?
Oh yes, so there's definitely different ways you can partner up with us, volunteer. I would highly recommend, follow Special Olympics Union County on their social media platforms. They always have opportunities for people to volunteer, for you to, if you have a athlete maybe that has an intellectual or developmental disability, you can sign them up for events. They'll have the information on when to sign them up. There's always volunteer opportunities for events that are going on in the community, and you can look that up on the Special Olympics North Carolina website, or like I said, just follow the Special Olympics Union County page. And then with us, with the Union County Sheriff's Office, we do different Special Olympic fundraisers throughout the year. So just follow us and see where we're going to be at and how you can help us.
Absolutely. So what does community policing mean to you personally?
It means, just being out in the community and just being seen and, being someone that someone feels comfortable coming up to, talking to. Not just, everything in police work is not just about, arrest and things like that. It's also about building that community. So being able for people to know that, hey, if I'm in the store, you see me, or I'm at an event and you see me, come up to me, say hello, let's have a conversation. To me, that's community policing. It's building that rapport, building relationships, having one-on-one conversations with people. If you see us, you don't have to walk the other way. You can come up and talk to us. We're humans just like you.
Yeah. Let's see here. So being more on a personal side of this, what do you enjoy most about your current role?
I think it's because I am a people's person that I am able to be around people on a daily basis. I am able to just be that. Some people call me a shining light when they see me someone today. They were just like, "Oh, you just sound like you're in like a ministry role in what you do." But that's who I am, like outside of this place. I have that demeanor to myself, like I'm positive. I always have a smile on my face. But I think that's what makes me, shine. Or I don't want to say shine, but makes me a good fit for this position and things like that.
What keeps you motivated day in and day out?
I think just to know that I have the ability to change someone's perspective on law enforcement. So if I know I can walk in these doors or walk out there and on the streets or talk to someone in the community, go to someone's church and speak with them and change their perspective on law enforcement just from them having a conversation with me, I think that's a plus. That's a bonus.
Absolutely. What's one thing people might be surprised to learn about your job? Yeah, you gotta think real hard on that one, don't you?
I do have to think on that one. I don't know. Some people, let's say, what would they be surprised about? One lady at the senior center, I was there doing the Operation Medicine Drop, and she's like, "You're a police officer?" Like some people, because of the role I do, they don't realize that, law enforcement is actually out here doing these community events. We are. There's two of us that have this permanent position, and then our other officers within our field help us out. But people may look and they'll be like, "Oh, you're out here doing community things? Oh, I didn't know you were you're a sworn law enforcement officer." Yes, I'm a deputy sheriff.
Well, we're going to do a quick lightning round right now,
Okay.
Which sounds a little bit more fun. But I'm going to ask you some questions, just answer them. So early mornings or late nights?
Mornings. I like to go to bed early.
Coffee or energy drinks?
Coffee.
Favorite event to work?
Spring games, Special Olympic spring games.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Favorite part of the job?
Being out in the community.
Okay. One word to describe the community you serve?
Excellent.
Well, Deputy Hill, thank you for the work you do to keep our community informed, engaged, and safe. And thank you to everyone for listening to the 1041 at UCSO Podcast. If you like to learn more about special programs like Operation Medicine Drop, car seat safety checks, or upcoming community events, be sure to follow the Union County Sheriff's Office. Until next time, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next call.